Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do a service on this truck. It's long overdue. I shouldn't really be driving it the way it is, so we got some oils and filters, so let's get to her. As always, I want to give a big thanks to my subscribers, old and new. I appreciate every single one of you. You're the only reason why I'm doing this nonsense out here in this frigid weather. It's cold out. So I got motor oil and I got air filter, fuel filter, and I have an oil filter. I was going to do the transmission, but I've had some pretty bad luck in the past doing the transmission fluid change, so I think I might wait until springtime to do that, because I really don't want to drive my Duramax or the LS swapped OBS, because it just hurts my soul to drive that in salt. So I think we'll just put that on hold for now, and we'll just do the other stuff. So let's do that. All right, so let's open up the bonnet here. I think that's what you call it, right? And holy, she's a little filthy under here. So we got this air filter and the oil, the fuel filter, like I said. I'll take this dipstick out. I'll just show you. When I bought the truck, there was like next to nothing on this dipstick, and I topped her up when I bought it, and it hasn't moved since. So that tells me that this oil hasn't been changed in probably almost 100,000 kilometers. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't think this thing was looked after a whole lot before I bought it, but we're gonna give her some love it deserves, because honestly, it's treating me pretty good. I've only had to fix a couple small things on this truck, so yeah, we'll drop that oil first because the motor's nice and warm, because I just got home. So we'll get underneath this truck and roll around in the snow, and we'll get this oil out. So let's just do that. Okay. Here I am. I'm just gonna jack this truck up a little bit, because I don't think I can get my big belly underneath the thing to get the bolt off the drain plug. There. Oops. Alright, so I'm underneath the truck. Right here's the drain plug. It's a 15 millimeter. Unless yours is stripped like mine was, so I had quite the battle to get that on there, actually. So a trick to get no oil on your fingers is to push on this plug as you're taking it off, and then you can feel the thread skip, and that's when you know it's all the way out. Right here. There. You hear that? It skipped. So now I made a mess either way, but at least my hands are good and dry, right? We're gonna let this drain here, and then we'll get that oil filter off. There's some gunk stuck to this. Yeah, she definitely hasn't been changed in a long time. There's a lot of gunk on that. And here I am talking about keeping my hands clean. I just smeared all that oil all over my fingers. So that's exactly what you're supposed to do, okay? All right. Well, since we're under here, we're going to take the oil filter off too. So I got this oil filter wrench. We're just going to grab her around there, give her some really good pressure, and then it should come off. Now, somebody clearly put this on properly because I didn't fight with that. But sometimes, if you put these on too tight, they'll never come off. And you literally have an exploded oil filter by the time you're done trying to take these off. So, just a note, never crank that on with one of these tools. Use your hands. Everything's so slippery now. I got oil over my fingers. I wonder why. Look at that off. Ow! Ah! Crushed my finger. Ow! Ow! I got water in my mouth. So, oh, okay. Ah! I cannot get that with my fingers. They're too slippery. Do you understand how slippery this is? Okay. I think you do. Because you're doing the same thing I'm doing. Alright. Now it's super loose. There's no explanation for me to not be able to get this off. Oh, yeah. Now, there's a trick to not get oil on your hands with this as well. You take a plastic cup, like a Dixie cup or something, and put it over it and then spin it. That's a Dixie cup in your hand, but clearly I'm beyond that point of keeping my hands clean. You see? You see? So, we'll just keep unscrewing it. Alright. So there's a lot in there, apparently. So, oh, there's more salt water in my mouth. That tastes amazing, I'm telling you. You gotta love New Brunswick. It's just full of salt and tasty material on the road. That's why this looks like this. So if I rub my oily hands on that, that might actually protect that. Oh yeah, there's some undercoating. She's been undercoated and very well taken care of. 15,000 OBO. Alright. So before we get up out of here, you're going to want to install this new filter. You see this rubber gasket right here on the top? What you're going to want to do is dip your finger in the oil that you just drained and rub it around there. Make sure you get more salt water. Make sure you get the oil coated on that gasket right there, that rubber O-ring, just so it's not dry. My goodness, that is salty. Make sure you get that covered in oil and then put it on. Also make sure your old gasket from your old filter is not stuck on the motor still. So you're going to want to tighten this up here. Oh, my hands are so slippery. I wipe them off on my pants. Yep. Alright, they're wiped off. You're going to want to spin this oil filter on. Man, there's so much salt water in my mouth. And when you tighten this, make sure you do not use the tool that you took it off. Tighten this by hand. If you don't tighten this by hand, you or the next person is going to hate you. This will never come off if you do not tighten this just by hand. So just give her the elbow pops. Alright, she's torqued. Just like that. Alright. So before we get up out of here completely, we're going to put this drain plug in. I wiped all the material off that magnet before I put it in there too, so it's good and clean. So we'll get this threaded in here and tighten it down, and then I'll meet you back up top. Alright, so while I was under there changing the oil, I noticed something kind of very bad. My front diff is leaking extremely bad. Actually, all these oil spots is from the front diff. So what we're going to do is just ignore that for now. We're going to keep doing this oil here. So we're going to take this cover off and start dumping some fresh stuff in her. So today's oil of choice is the Silverado T4 10W30 diesel oil. I picked this because, well, I just felt like it. So we'll get this cover off here. It says on the cover it requires 5W30, but 1030 is good for. Well, there goes the jug of oil. 1030 is good for an older motor there, and this diesel oil has lots of zinc and stuff in it, so we'll stick this funnel in here. It takes about 5.7 quarts, so you'll get a big jug like this, and then you'll get a small jug as well, and you'll still have like a quarter of that jug left. So we'll dump all this good stuff in here. Now, if you were a trained professional, you wouldn't need this funnel, but I'm far from a trained professional. There we go. That stuff looks good, tasty. I think I would drink that myself, to be honest. Let's try some. You know, it's better than black oil, I guess. Oh, no, she's a little sour. All right, on to the next jug. So when I was buying oil, I couldn't find a quart of the Silverado, so I got this Quaker State. This is 530. We'll just mix them together. It'll be fine. Drink up, little buddy. That feels about right there. So we'll just stop right there for now. Nope. That feels right. All right. I guess I threw the cover away for some reason, even though I knew that this wasn't going to be completely used. So we'll let this oil drain down in here, and then we'll check the stick. I'm sure I'll have to top it up just a little bit more, but man, that oil is pretty ripe inside my mouth right now. At least my jaw's all lubricated, so I can talk a little better. All right, let's pull this out of here. I feel like I got her pretty close. I'll pull this out, give her a little wipe down with the fingers, and wipe her on my good clothes. Don't worry, I wear my good clothes when I'm working. So now that it's completely wiped off, we'll dip her down, back down in there. Pull her out. Wow. So, as you can see, them dots right there, that's the full mark. Come on, focus. Them dots, that top one is the full mark, and it's just past it. So when I start the truck up, it's going to fill that oil filter up, and it's actually going to drop down a little bit. So we'll fire the truck up, and then we'll check it again. But yeah, I got about the right amount in there. All right, now that we run it there for a few seconds, we'll check the oil again. It should be just about where it is, because I used that 5 liters there, and then about 75% of this quart here. So it's down a little bit, so we'll just add just a little bit more oil until it's up to this top dot right here, and we'll call her good. All right, so we're moving on to the air filter here. Just takes a number 3 Phillips bit. We can take these ones off. There's 4 of them, I think. One on each corner. I need a screwdriver for this one. Maybe. Nope, I got her. Alright. So you want to take them out and pop this off. Make sure you lose the screws too, because you don't want to put them back in, right? Alright. So here's the air filter. That's the old one. So what you do with that is, there's a lot of stuff inside this box, so I'll just blow it out instead of vacuuming it out. You should probably vacuum it out, but I'm just gonna blow it out. So I got a motor master here. Usually I would use wicks, but this was just the easiest one to get. So we'll set this down in here like so, just like that. And then we'll put this cover back on. Pretty simple. If you have a screwdriver, you can do it. Alright, we got that back on, so let's screw this back on here. It's pretty easy. I like it. Alright. Get the drill down in here again somehow. Oh, no, not there. There we go. Alright, that was simple. Something I want to show you. Right here is your mass airflow sensor. Right behind it is a gauge. I'll get you in here so you can see. So right behind it is this little gauge here. This tells you if your air filter is good or not. So this one is showing that the air filter, well, if you'd focus, would you? This one is showing that the air filter is at about 80%. You got a little button here. Oh, I guess it was way below 80%. Actually, it was at 0. Sorry. So when you press that button, it releases that. So this shows you kind of the suction that it's getting. So when the pressure builds up because the air filter is full, it sucks this plunger down. And it tells you if your air filter is good or not. So I'm not very smart, and I guess that was really bad. So now I press this button and it released that, and it shows that it's at 0% suction or whatever. I don't know. Suction. So when that is all the way down, your air filter is bad. So that's a good thing that GM added to this. Why won't this camera focus? Maybe I'm just out of focus. I don't know. But yeah, so now that we took care of that, let's move on to the fuel filter. Alright, so of course, like always, I can't find, oh, I guess we'll just leave that there. Of course I can't find the fuel filter I had. It's here somewhere. It's a Wix. It's pretty easy to change. It's right underneath the back of the cab there by the frame rail. So since I can't find that, I think we ought to make sure that I change this oil properly and go test the truck out, just to be sure that I didn't screw nothing up. Okay, so let's go test the truck out. Alright, so we're in the truck here. we're gonna go make sure that I change this oil properly. Alright? So let's do that. Alright, so we're driving down the road here. Everything sounds pretty good. They got the oil pressure gauge. That looks alright. There's one thing that we need to try to make sure that we did everything right. So let's go try that right now. Yeah, so this video did not go as planned. Let's get that truck unstuck, I guess. Well, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Just a quick one this week. We got the oil changed and them filters changed, and that's really all I was too concerned about. So if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned till the next one. Have a good one.